See, he doesn't like it either.
I know.
You get the old smiley and laughy thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking like people are gonna think like, oh, he's not into it. It's not good. Then I'll be alright.
No, that tea is never into it. I don't know why they put her on camera.
What do you mean they like you? All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to Herald 360. I'm managing editor and your host, Matt Lindberg. And with me is news editor Tia Bedwell, staff writer Brian Clark, and our another top reporter, Titus Workman. He's actually our publisher, and you know that. We are taking a look back at the week that was and giving you a preview of what's going forward, hence the 360. We're taking it back, we're going forward all around. Starting up, Tia, Tuesday's paper, you had this really colorful photo.
Mm-hmm.
People I'm sure they did see it. We got a lot of calls about it. But talk about just how you went about getting it, because it wasn't as easy as you.
Well, you could see the rainbow everywhere, and I was out at the lake heading back to Roanoke Rapids, and I knew I was going to be passing this church, and I probably sped a little bit trying to get there before the rainbow disappeared, hoping that it would be lined up for that photo.
And
it was.
That's more the G-rated account than
Yes.
what you actually told us. But that's all right. I can't come on camera with that.
But there was a lot of photos on Facebook. A lot of people got some pretty photos of the rainbow.
Yeah, but not quite like yours.
No, thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, Brian, you've had a pretty active week yourself. Tuesday night, we had the story Sunday about the fence on 10th Street, the memorial fence.
Yep.
A lot of people were upset about the potential of that being torn down or taken down. City Council came out and they said there was a decision on that. Tell us a little bit about it.
Kai Hong did the initial story in last Sunday's paper, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He talked to a woman, one of the people who hangs stuff on the fence, and
Jean Reeves.
Jean Reeves, thank
Yes.
you. She was concerned about the fence's future and what was going to happen to it once State Employees Credit Union started building on the site. And at Tuesday nights, City Council meeting, days are running together. The Tuesday night City Council meeting, Kelly Lasky got up and said she'd been contacted by representatives from State Employees Credit Union to assure her that the fence would remain in some form in the future. They said probably wouldn't be the same length because there'd be an entrance somewhere around 10th and Jefferson Street there, I think, but that there would be something there for people to continue the tradition. So.
Now, it's important to note, too, that the officials there with the company, they've always said that they were going to do something with the fence. They weren't sure what they were going to do. But it was definitely interesting that they came out after the initial story, and here was a firm plan. That was good to see. I think a lot of buzz on Monday caused that.
I think that between Mrs. Reeves and our story that we got some people's attention.
And we got an official email from one of the board of directors with the State Employees Credit Union confirming in writing that they did indeed plan to do something specific with some sort of memorable fence.
And that was a letter to the editor that we ran in Wednesday's paper, so hopefully you saw that with the story in that paper. And Tia, here's some photos you took in our diversions section right here. We went on
and the story that you wrote.
Yeah, we did a story about a local musician, Bill Waugh. He's part of the local rock band Countershoot, but he put out his solo album. I don't know if you can see it there. He was pretty interesting. You took some photos of him in front of the press.
Yeah, he was loving that, and actually came back on Thursday to see the press running because he was just stoked and was hoping I would use this photo in Diversions.
Yeah, and of course
you can see his album on page 2.
Yeah.
That's out for sale right now.
Which I think you can buy on iTunes, he was saying, at cdbaby.com. And he's also going to be performing his solo set at Watersview Saturday night.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I don't think rain would impact it.
Yeah, they've got tents and stuff set up.
So he should be okay.
Mm-hmm, I think so.
So you can check him out, and you can definitely check out the album. It was pretty interesting. It's a good CD, and definitely got a bright future.
He had an awesome guitar too.
Yeah, that was a neat guitar.
It's acoustic and electric.
Yep. And then today's paper, of course, if you haven't seen it, you should have by now, but if you haven't, here it is. We had a lot going on. As you can tell, law enforcement, they're looking for an attempted murder suspect. Staff writer Kai Hong did this story here about the Enfield police installing some new camera equipment. And Kai has also got a story here below the fold about preparing for hurricane season. That's right around the corner. Some good tips in there. Things I even need to, I know all of us need to follow up on. And in our sports section, we've got a new piece. Chalky Yacht Country Club head pro Steve Nixon. He's going to write a column offering some tips for all you golfers out there. Certainly, every golfer needs their tips, especially Tiger Woods these days.
Oh.
I was going to say, except for Tiger Woods, but we know how he's playing, so he needs a lot of tips.
And that's coming out every other week.
Yep,
Yep.
every other Friday.
And please send out the fish photos.
Yep.
Yeah, remind people.
Yep, we have our sports and outdoors page. We're looking for your fish photos.
Yeah.
We know you guys are taking photos of those big catches you make. So all we're asking is you email them to us so we can get them in the paper and show them off to the community. And then, of course, Sunday, we got a lot going on then. Brian, this morning you were out in Jackson.
That's right.
If people saw Sunday's paper and were on the website, there was a story you did with Northampton County Sheriff Jack Smith. And he talked to you about some of his friends that he had lost in the line of duty. And Friday was the culmination. They had the annual ceremony honoring fallen
Yep,
officers.
the Twin County Law Enforcement Memorial Service, I believe, is what the official title is. This is the third year that they've done it, and they pay tribute to the fallen law enforcement officers from Halifax and Northampton counties, about 15 in total, I believe. And it's just a way to keep the memory of these men alive. I think the first one who fell in Halifax County, that was in 1910, so it was more than 100 years ago, and there's no one around alive who remembers this guy. And one of the people I spoke with, she indicated that it's good to keep this going because there should never be a stop date on remembering people who have sacrificed their lives for our safety.
Well, it seems like it was a pretty good atmosphere from what you were telling us earlier. Can you kind of fill people in on just what you saw? And
It was very well attended. There's about I'd say about 50 people between law enforcement and attendees, and they were just there. I wouldn't say it was necessarily solemn. I mean, it's certainly respectful, yes, but they were there to remember these guys for what they had done and the service that they gave to their communities, and it was just a very humbling for me. I have family who's been in law enforcement, and it could have easily been one of them, their names up there, and thankfully that's not the case. But it's always nice to remember the men and women who put on the uniform and are out there looking out for us every day.
okay. And of course, we're getting ready to not bring back, but a new version of Roanoke Valley Woman.
Yeah,
Sunday.
Yeah, we are.
That's right here.
We've made some changes to it. Previously, it has been a magazine that we published independent of the newspaper and put it at locations throughout the valley. We decided to make it a part of the Herald this year. We are unfortunately being limited to 3 issues. In the past, we've had as many as 6 issues, so we're doing 3 issues this year. But we'll be doing May and I think August and November. And so we got this first one out and we're excited about it. And the great thing about it is we're putting out so many more copies than what we did before. We're putting out probably 2.5 times the number of copies of Woman that we were doing before by making it a part of the newspaper. But it's also going to be in our weekly shopper, the Smart Saver that goes out. So it's if you get the Smart Saver, it's in the Smart Saver. If you get the Herald, it's in the Herald. So
Okay.
yeah.
We profiled Lori Medlin, who is the tourism guru around here.
Yeah.
But she does a lot. She stays busy. She has 4 kids and a family, and she does that on top of what she does for tourism. So she had a lot to say, a lot of interesting things, good insight, and she's trying to be a role model for young women in the community. So it was a different side of her. So check it out. And you also have your column, Titus, in Sunday's paper.
Yeah.
We were talking about that a little bit. Do you want to give people an idea of what you'll be talking about?
Well, it's always difficult trying to come up with what I'm going to write about every week. Sometimes it's a last-minute process, but right now I'm very fortunate that I wrote on something last week that was just, there was too much material to put into one column. So last week I was sort of rediscovering one of our archived issues from May of 1958, and I went through and described some of the stories that were in it that I thought were pretty unique. And as I was doing that, I noticed that there were a lot of advertisements in there that was pretty unique too. So this week in my column, I'm going to be highlighting some of those really unique ads that are in there. Many of them, if not all of them, from businesses that unfortunately are no longer with us, but a lot of people might remember fondly from being in the Roanoke Rapids area.
Where'd everybody go? All right. Well, thanks for watching. We enjoyed looking back with you and looking forward. We got a lot coming in Sunday's paper, so be on the lookout. And while you're here on ourdailyherald.com, click around and look at what we have. We got a lot going on. Thanks.